So as some of you know, iOS 18 did end up bringing some sort of a game mode for our particular iPhones. And I've been able to kind of play a lot of games on this particular game mode on a lot of different iPhones, from some of the more, premium ones like the 14s and the 15s, all the way down to even like the iPhone XR, which is the oldest supported iPhone on iOS 18. And I definitely do think that game mode as it exists right now, depending on the game and depending on the phone that you're playing with, it really is going to be giving you a different type of experience depending on what you're expecting. So on paper, what iOS 18 is kind of telling you in terms of the game mode option is saying that it's going to be optimizing the gaming experience by basically giving you, by basically making the game that you're playing the main priority for that iPhone and the power that it's giving. It's going to lower background tasks, and it can even go ahead and actually improve responsiveness of your AirPods and the controllers that you're actually inputting with in order to reduce the input latency and the audio latency. Now, on paper, those are really, really cool things. Now, I was able to go and play, like I said before, some games that support controller support. Not every game supports it. And I was able to play some emulators on this as well. And my experience has been that it's a pretty decent experience overall. Now, it's hard to emulate this over the camera, but so far what I was able to do was I was able to go ahead and simply just connect my PlayStation 5 controller over to my iPhone. So I started with my iPhone XR, and I was able to go ahead and actually play some games through this particular controller, and my experience wasn't really that different than what iOS 17 had. So maybe it's placebo, maybe it seems like it's a little bit better here and there in terms of like if I click a button, it's more responsive. But I would say for the most part, it's almost about the same thing that I was experiencing in terms of, iOS 17 from any games that I was playing. And I would say the same thing about the AirPods as well. But one thing is for sure, it's not worse. So it's definitely not worse, which is really good. So the first thing, going from iOS 17 game mode or the lack of game mode to a dedicated game mode, is that Apple's going to go ahead and make improvements for this particular area. I never ever, whether I'm playing on my PC or I'm playing on anything, I never really even notice the lag of games or like the input latency in general. So I don't think I'm the perfect correspondent to this, this perfect speaker for this. But I will tell you, from the gaming performance, at least from these, input controllers and from the AirPods, it seems the same, if not better. So I think that's definitely good. And Apple has so many more improvements in the betas to go from. So maybe they're just like placing the game mode now and they're going to make improvements later. But it is nice that we actually are going to be having a dedicated game mode. So on paper, that is what should be expected. So if you're turning off game mode, you should expect that overall the latency and everything should be more for the most part. The performance is another very interesting thing because I was able to see, at least from the test that I'm able to do, if you can kind of see from both, that again, there doesn't really seem to be that big of a difference from iOS 17 game mode or the lack of game mode to iOS 18 game mode on. And if you're going from game mode on to off, there should be a little bit of a difference when it comes down to the gameplay. I'm probably showcasing like previous iOS gameplay to now iOS gameplay of the same games on the same phones. And at least from what I can tell, I didn't really notice that big of a difference again, but that's because I'm rocking these on some older phones. But the thing is, if you're rocking these games on newer phones, there's probably going to be even less gameplay differences, right? Because you're going to be getting it on a newer phone that's going to run the games perfectly fine. On Genshin Impact, even on the highest settings, COD Mobile, Roblox, even whatever games you're playing, you're probably not going to notice like big massive differences as far as I can tell, which is not a bad thing because this is still in the beta and it's only going to get better and better. And I think that's a really nice thing. The fact that game mode is working, when you go ahead and open up a game, it tells you, it can figure out whether it's a game or not, and it can go and give you and place you into the game mode options. I think that's a really nice thing and that's a very good start. And I think it's only going to get better from here. So I've kind of told you on paper what's expected, but I'm going to tell you my personal opinion is that it definitely has some improvements to go. And I don't know if this will ever be like 100% fleshed out, but I do feel like in the near future, this can actually be a really, really good, nice feature set Apple's going to throw in. And I'm actually very excited about it. So overall, those are basically the main differences between game mode being on and off and what you can probably expect from these two, particular options. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that will mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.